Did you know that prior to COVID, divorce rate was around 35% in this country? But after COVID, post-COVID, it went up to a whopping 65%. And the financial ramifications of divorce will really take a toll on your family, your kids if you have them. Our next guests are going to talk about everything marriage, divorce, and how do you make sure that you stay connected and have that union that you decided that you wanted to have. So let's get it. Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet, where we help you live in abundance, both spiritually, practically. We help you create 5, 6, 7-figure businesses so that you could walk in your purpose, right? And so today's guest is a powerhouse, been married over 30 years. They are relationship experts. They are 6-time authors, international bestsellers, all of the above. And we're going to talk about union. We're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about being in business together. We're going to talk about all of the awesome things that come with a strong union. And if you have a union, how do you make sure that that union gets tighter? We have Rufus and Jenny Triplett in the building.
Hey.
Peace and blessings.
How you doing?
Peace and blessings.
I don't know. I got to come up a notch for him.
That's it.
I know that's right. We got to step up our game.
I'm trying to come up.
Step it up.
I'm excited for this interview because I think that a lot of times people don't realize the power of a team. The power of a team that moves together. Black wealth specifically is built by black marriage, right? And I'm not just saying that. If you look at the stats, if you look at people who built wealth, majority of them have been married, and then when that wealth goes, majority of it is because of divorce, right? And so we have a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. But before we go there, for our insiders, who is Rufus and Jenny Triplett?
Okay, I guess we need to give them the Cliff Notes, right?
Please give these people the Cliff Notes.
The Cliff Notes. Okay, we are Rufus and Jenny Triplett, husband and wife team. We've been married 32 years. We are best-selling authors of the book, Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century, 13 Easy Tips that can help you get to 20 years and beyond. It's sold over 100,000 copies independently. It has taken us around the world. We've spoke in over 7 countries, global conferences regarding marriage and different things like that. We co-host a podcast, Surviving Marriage Podcast. We've counseled over 2,000 couples, and we use this platform not only for our marriage, but also for entrepreneurship, because we also help teach people in regards to entrepreneurship and how they can do that, as in a couple, so kind of like a couplepreneur. Yeah.
Is that what you call the Cliff Notes?
That's the Cliff Notes.
I'd have gave the Cliff Notes in 2 sentences.
And so you guys have been very successful, with your marriage platform. And I gave the stat, how after COVID we've seen a rise in divorces. Why is that?
Well, that's because everybody was staying together during
People
COVID.
didn't like each other.
Yeah, staying together during COVID, and they found out that they really didn't like each other. Like our business really boomed during
You know
COVID.
what I'm saying?
People-
You had to get really, really close.
Yeah.
And up and personal. With your person that you were with.
And it's like a 24-hour lockdown, so you were kind of like in prison, with the person.
I didn't feel like I was in prison. I was
no,
good.
we didn't feel like it. We were good
I
because
was
we
up in
like
there
each other.
skating, girl.
We like each other. But for the people who did not like each other, it was a prison.
Ooh.
And as soon as, COVID kind of lightened up, they're like, okay, I'm up out of here. I got to go.
Yeah, that was horrible. We didn't like seeing it. We was trying to do something about it. We were trying to keep them together.
Yeah.
But the percentages just kept going up during COVID.
Yeah, and just like I said, we've counseled over 2,000 couples. So it's like every time we think we haven't heard something, there is something new that we have not heard. A lot of things we won't be trying to hear.
Wow.
But, in order to give, good counsel and good advice and different things
Yeah,
like
I
that.
had to sit there and listen to some of it.
Yeah, you
I wasn't
gotta
trying to hear, partner.
You gotta hear the people and their problems and different things like that. So that, it's COVID really shine the light on who people really are.
Yeah.
Or aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys said something that I think is intriguing, right? That you liked each other. People realized that they didn't like each other anymore. And I like that you use the word like and not love, right? Because there are people like literally in my life that I love, but I'm cool. Like we don't even have to ever talk anymore, right? Because love doesn't necessarily go away.
Right.
You said it.
I can love you from a distance.
I can love you from a distance. But in order for me to be in your space, I want to like you, right?
Yes.
And I think that a lot of couples stay together because they like, oh, I love this person, so we're gonna make it work. But if you don't like each other, it's not. Can you expound a little bit on the liking of your partner and why that's important?
Yeah. Well, let's start with the opposite side and flip it about the dislikes, because that's what we hear a lot of, and people point the finger about what they don't like.
Don't everybody don't like something about somebody?
Yeah,
Right.
because normally when you counsel, that's what we hear first, the faults.
Yeah.
He does this, she does that, I don't like this, okay, so, and we listen, we let them get it all out, and then we ask, so what brought you guys together in the first place? How did you guys get together originally? What
what was the
attracted
infatuation?
you? Yeah, what attracted you to this person?
She was pretty, he was pretty.
Right. We was in the club, that kind of thing.
Right.
So whatever the attraction was in the first place, then all of a sudden you got together, and now you're finding out all little type of things. He clips his
You
toenails.
find out that attraction was just one part of it.
Yeah, he clips his
the other part
toenails.
you had to deal
He
with.
clips his toenails in the tub.
Yeah.
He lets the trash stack up. He doesn't take that out. She stays on the phone with her girlfriends, and we don't ever get any quality time. Just little things that you don't know when you initially meet someone.
Yeah.
And then you don't have the conflict resolution skills to talk it out, to try to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Like, why does this bother you so much?
Yeah.
What is it about this? Is it really this little thing right here, or is it something else? And a lot of times when we pull the layers back, it's something else.
Yeah.
Always something else.
Yeah.
Unbelievably something else.
Yeah. And so when we talk about like that's something else, and we talk about liking your partner and spending time with them, the one thing that I always hear about is balance, right? And that you might, like, when you first got with somebody, they were this one way, and then they start to evolve and become somebody else, and then there is this lack of balance as it relates to somebody might be going one direction, and like, how do you deal with evolution as a couple?
Look at here, man. Ain't no balance, man. Somebody just sometimes go off the deep end.
Yeah.
You just be like, what in the world just happened up in here?
Yeah.
It's because we all change differently.
Right.
Right? I mean, we grew up differently, so we bringing that into the relationship.
Yeah.
And then when we make those changes, when you was 5 years old, you did things different at 10 years old.
Right.
And as we learn, we should do things differently, right?
Yeah.
But the other person is still stuck with, they ain't changed yet.
Right.
So they wasn't ready for that. So sometimes I say deep end because that change be so drastic for some people that they can't deal with it.
Yeah, and then there's certain traits that do acquire a balance, like require a balance. Like about me, like I'm an overachiever, a go-getter, and different things like that. And then a lot of times, he's just laid back.
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm looking for the money. I be looking for the money. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go get it. And then he's back. Okay, well, where you dragging me to do now? I'm gonna come along with you if it's a good plan.
Right.
We gonna do it. We gonna go get it. Yeah. So that type of balance, is required in a relationship. But if you try to stop that person from being who they are, that is where the control comes in.
Yeah, I guess receiving that balance. It's a balance if they receive it. But again, a lot of times what I've seen in counseling people is they're not receiving it.
Right.
So that's why I said going off the deep end.
Right.
So how do you deal with that going off the deep end? Don't try to change the person.
But Rufus, let me ask you, how do you get comfortable with your wife's ambition? Meaning, and what I mean by that, and I'm speaking specifically, and I'm glad that that's the dynamic, right? Because a lot of times in relationships, we were taught that the man is supposed to be the one. It's the man to take the lead, right? The man. And then there's this dynamic of, I don't want to call, maybe it's intimidation, I don't know, but like if, they kind of feel like if the woman is leading from a monetary perspective or, overachiever, or they're the ambitious one and you're the laid back one, like how do you get to that space of not feeling insecure in your role as a man?
Or resentment.
Man, I was just talking to the young fellas earlier today, and I was trying to explain, I have to be cool with myself. Like, a lot of people don't want to go to therapy. A lot of people need therapy. Really, not only the way we were raised or brought up, but because of society issues that you might deal with. I'm cool with me. So that makes me cool with her. Even if I gotta go get therapy to be cool with me, that's what needs to happen. On the real, man. We can't be scared of therapy because we're scared of healing. We're scared of actually being okay with who we are.
Yeah, and if you see something in your partner that is making you resent them, there's definitely something wrong with you, not your partner. There's something wrong with you.
But that's how you can get over it. Again, I don't look at her as this overachiever or any of that, really. She describes herself as such. I'm just cool with me, so whatever she's doing, and I'm cool with what she's doing. As long as she ain't finna rob a bank or send me to jail or something. Put me in a situation. Have to fight the Incredible Hulk or something. Why would you mess with this dude in the first place?
Right. And so, married 30 plus years. Friends, business partners. How do you stay married and build a business together?
Number one, trust. We have to trust each other.
Yeah, I was in there with that model that time.
Excuse me?
He was cool, huh? I was just trying to tell him something.
What time was that?
And I was cool, though. You was cool because you was cool with yourself.
Okay. But trust each other completely. Our decisions, our conversations, our thought processes, running things by each other. Our morals.
Please tell the person. A lot of times people don't want. They don't need to know that. No, we need to know. Right. It's certain things we don't need to know. But I'm saying when you're making decisions for the business, even if you feel it's small, it makes us feel like we're part of that decision. Even though we're not making the decision.
Keeping each other in the loop. Our morals and standards have to be on the same page. And I have to tell this story because we're inside the vault. We with our concert promotion business. We had a concert promotion business, CD duplication, and we also managed artists, like R&B artists and everything. We
had a couple of rappers too. They tried to hit me up one time.
We made $1 million in a 12-month period of time.
Wow.
And the next year, we walked away from the business.
Wow. Wait. So you made $1 million in 1 year from a business.
12 months.
12 months,
12
and then
months.
decided, nah, I'm
Damn,
good.
right.
Here, we
What I
walked
just
away from the business.
that's what I was trying to get to. Like I said, we're dealing with rappers
Right.
and things like
The
that
music
too.
business,
So
concert promotions. If you've never done concert promotions,
you ain't never collected
Oh my
money
God.
after the show.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It is. Oh my God! It
Got
is-
your briefcase
it's
and
cutthroat.
everything, and
Yeah.
you got to cut people up in there that shouldn't be there.
Security. Yeah, that type of thing. You see how small I am, right?
But
Okay.
it wasn't that. I didn't like keep putting her. The reason why we walked away because I didn't want her to be put in those situations.
We had some
I hired
situations.
security. I had.
Yeah.
But I personally, just the feeling I had.
Yeah.
Money is not that important. What was
Yeah.
more important was my marriage.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
me
And
focusing on
ethically
keeping
and
her
morally,
safe.
I
Yeah.
mean, he would be walking around with like $40,000 in his
Whoa,
pocket.
whoa,
cash.
whoa, babe. People might, girl, well, I had to leave the vote.
Yeah.
You can't stay in the vote.
Security down here. We inside the vault. We inside the vault.
Girl.
He would be walking around with $40,000 cash.
That was
in his
used to be
pocket.
for those listening.
In his pocket,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm at the front, you know, of the gate. They call it the gate. You know, you're taking the tickets and everything, making sure our money is right, because I was over the money, right?
Yeah.
Making sure our money is right, and he's at the
I
back.
used to try to wear a trench
with-
coat, boy, because my pocket be bugged out. Like,
with the artists and everything, and I was like, well, we need some walkie-talkies because I need to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Yeah.
okay. So
like, what she gonna do? I used to say, what you gonna do? You gonna come down here and help me fight?
Right.
yeah, so I'm just saying, it was that type of thing, like ethically and morally and
Yeah.
everything. We had to walk away from
Wow.
that. You know,
Yeah.
where some people probably would have been in it like, oh, this business is good.
That's
Yeah.
right,
You know,
but,
this is-
and as long as I'm making money.
Right.
But we knew there's so many ways to make money.
Yeah.
So we ain't got to subject ourselves to all this criminal, some of it with criminal activity
Right.
going on
yeah,
around
because you
us.
know some entourages.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some
Yeah.
entourages in the business.
And people
Right.
do
you know,
get
yeah.
robbed, even though y'all don't hear about it in in the business.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we know
But
people that
get
have been.
robbed up in there when they go collect their money.
And,
sometimes.
but we also know people that have been in the studio, like recording studios.
Got
and
robbed
different
in the
things
studio.
like
I
that.
didn't get robbed.
Well,
in. I
ain't-
know people
ain't
that
that
got
where
robbed
50
in the
Cent got
studio.
shot
Yeah,
coming out the
whoa,
studio?
I don't know 50
You know,
Cent.
yeah, okay.
But I'm glad that you guys said that, right? Because when you think about, you know, people getting into businesses, right? Most times, a lot of the main goal is money, right? They want to make the most money. But in your case, it wasn't even about the money. It was about, you know, the you know, just safety first, right? Putting first things first.
But we like, I mean, I grew up in the business. I grew up in that industry.
Yeah.
So I kind of gravitated to that when I got 18 years old.
Yeah.
We knew a lot of people because I grew up in it. I interned at a radio station at 16 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we knew a lot of artists, and that it came easy for us,
Yeah.
shall we say. So those type of relationships that we had came really easy
We
for
knew
us.
it was money in it.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you get, and we were doing this really young. We were 22, 23. Yeah, we were really young.
Wow.
And so when you get behind the scenes
Yeah.
and you see all the madness that goes
So
on.
you're in your 20s that made $1 million and walked away.
Yes.
We
Yes, we
young.
were in our 20s.
Hey, but to bring this back to the marriage thing again, I learned early on as far as keeping in touch with my marriage.
Yeah.
Right. I never wanted anything to overshadow my marriage,
Yeah.
including a career.
Yeah.
I was a manager at Spots and doing really good. I mean, it would come times and they would say, "Hey, we need you to stay over for such and such." I would call her. This is what I'm telling people when I say, put your marriage first.
Yeah.
Do we got anything going on? Do you need me for anything? Yeah, we need to do such and such. Oh, hey, bro, I ain't gonna be able to stay.
Yeah.
You know, well, we need you, and it came a time where they said, well, you know, it's either your job or, you know, you walk out that door. So I'd walk out the door.
Yeah.
I come back and they still let me in, but my point was I still put my marriage first.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like the money thing we're talking about, I put my marriage first then. A lot of people don't put the marriage first, right?
yeah.
Because anything, if you do it for 20 years, if I could have been in the industry, I could have been in the industry for 20 years and making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have been married though. Right?
Like most people we know aren't.
Right.
So,
right.
and a lot of people I came up with, you know, in the industry,
Yeah.
a lot of them ain't married no more. But they know us, and they know, and they always say, and we say, we still together.
Right. Yeah. And so if I hear this correctly, right? I mean, you guys are fortunate to, and you worked on it to be in a position where you're working together, you're building the business together. But even when you weren't building the business together and you had a separate job, it was still that open, communication. What kind of sacrifices, though, do you have to make in a marriage to last this long, right? Because you guys been married over 30 years, and your book title, Surviving Marriage, talks about how to survive marriage after 20 years. What's the thought process behind that, right? Yeah.
We try to people to get to 20 years, because if you don't get to that 20-year point, it's the art of the compromise. People don't understand that,
but you haven't went through enough. When you don't get that 20 years. You haven't went through those changes that person finna change. Then you got to deal with that change.
Yeah.
Then you gonna change. Then y'all got to deal with that change.
Yeah. 20
years is a good evolution for that period to happen.
If we ever wrote a memoir, which we may at some point, the first 20 years of our marriage, we dealt with so much, so much. An incident.
Like the model he was talking about?
No,
I'm just joking. I don't know.
I don't even know her name.
You better stop playing. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
I don't know what you're talking
about. We'll talk about that later. But we were in a head-on collision. We were in a head-on collision. In my mama's car.
Wow.
In my mama's car. So
I was trying to stay on the other side of the road.
He fell asleep.
Excuse me. Well, why y'all tell people I fell asleep?
It was because you did.
My goodness.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Can you cover up my faults, please?
It's been 20 years ago, right? Okay. All right. So in my mama's car, head-on collision. He fell asleep. I ended up with a concussion, in the hospital. It was our 1-year-old.
Didn't I have a broke nose?
You got a broke nose. It was our 1-year-old's birthday.
Wow.
On his birthday. So we all up in the whole family. Our other 2 sons were injured. The whole family up in the hospital.
We in stilts and everything. Up in the hospital.
Just all messed up in the hospital. And people would seem to understand, how did you guys overcome that?
Wow.
You were almost killed,
right?
In a head-on collision.
At least I didn't wrap it around that pole. I missed the pole.
You missed the pole, thankfully, but you didn't miss that car.
Anywho.
Yeah. Okay. So we had to overcome. It's several things that we've had to overcome, and it may make a great book someday.
Yeah. And so, if I hear you correctly, the significance of 20 years means that you've been through enough as a couple, enough changes.
Through enough changes. See, a lot of people don't get that 20-year mark, and they end up not going through enough. So when you get to, I'm just gonna say this: when people say, I heard people say the 5 years, 7 years,
the 7-year itch. The 7-year itch.
Get that out your mind.
Yeah.
Right. It's not enough time, because we all making. I'm still making changes. It's been 30 years. I'm gonna change for her next year just to give her something to think about.
Yeah, I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, I'm gonna change something.
I'll be on the lookout for that.
But my point is that we change.
I see you.
We change. Give it that 20 years. Give you enough time.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get you 20 years. I was telling the young brother earlier today this same thing about. Dang, I just missed it.
Yeah, you missed it. I'll pick up for you.
No.
I got you.
I forget. What did you say?
About changing. I'm saying I'm gonna pick up for you. You're gonna remember it. Okay. All right. So when you get to 20 years, you will have so much to say, over time, that you've actually had to, go through. Marriage is a true test, but the test is how you go through something. People say, oh, we've been married for 20 years. Are you happy? Are you happy, though? Because we know a lot of people who are not happy.
Yeah.
At our first book signing, when we went out for our Surviving Marriage book, there was a lady who came to the University of North Carolina, had been married 20 years. 20 years. She came because she was fed up.
And we say the 20 years because I was telling young brother earlier today that if my elders had to put this in a book for me, or taught me this, again, we don't get this early enough before we start thinking about marriage. I mean, to really learn a little bit more about ourselves. I put it in the book because I wanted people to know that's my 20-year mark was when I said, I get it. I'm accepting this. We ain't going nowhere. Because if she looked at me in 20 years and said, I'm here. We ain't going nowhere.
Right. You better go on in that room, play the PlayStation, and leave me alone.
And we was in an argument probably at that time, I believe. But the whole thing was we learned how to argue. We learned how to accept each other's not only faults, so you hear all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But what in the book is 13 easy tips. And those 13 tips is what got me to 20 years and beyond.
Yeah.
So again, I wanted to provide the younger generation and even some of the older people come out to some of our stuff, and they get like dude was 69, 60 something years old. He had been through 4 marriages.
4 times.
He said this book. He said, "I wish I had your book in my first marriage."
Yeah, 4 marriages ago. 4 marriages ago.
Yeah.
Definitely that. And we live in an instant society now, so we need even more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Because we got married before the internet. We got married before pagers.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm with the millennials.
There was still pay phones. You know, we figured we calling each other from different states, so you got to sit there with the change.
Yeah.
You know, and put change. And
Yeah, I
people don't know
did put
about
my
that
$5 in there that one
They
time.
don't even know about that no
Can you
more.
quit talking? I ain't got no more money.
I'm like, I'm out of quarters.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wrap.
But how do you know though, right? Because there are some relationships that are toxic, right? And so as you're going through, like, how do you know what relationship is worth like sticking out and which ones you have to run from, or do you believe that there's a time actually for divorce?
Sure.
Yeah, there's
Well,
definitely
I've been telling some people
that
that you're trying to call somebody, run.
Yeah. We come across people who are ultra narcissists. I think we meet narcissists like this.
But first of all, you both
ultra narcissists.
You both got to want this to work. You can't want it to work and something major is going on, right?
One person can't be working on the marriage. It has to be 2 people that's working on the marriage.
If it's one person working on the marriage, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've counseled over 2,000 couples, and we hear some stuff, and we look at each other while we listening like,
I don't know more. I stopped listening.
It's like, okay, no, this is a wrap.
Yeah.
This marriage is a wrap right here.
One thing for sure, if you ever get hit, I tell people to run. Like back in the day, they stood in there.
Yeah.
They like soldiers up in there.
Yep.
Pop, pop.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still here.
Exactly.
You used to look like you still here.
And the younger generation see that. We knew Robert Earl was smacking, Lily Pearl. We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew she was
Well, they
getting
used to do
smacked
two
around
names
and
back
everything.
then, huh?
Yeah, there was no hiding. Yeah,
Jean
Robert Earl.
Marie.
There, yeah, we knew. We knew she was getting smacked around, and the younger generations be like, I don't know why she stayed with this.
that?
I don't know
But
why.
see, that was that old school thing. But again, I would have told them to run back then because that's not going to create a good environment for the relationship to flourish.
Yeah.
Like you said, we 20 years and you still love each other, you still like each other, you still going on trips together, you're sleeping in the same bed. Because my grandparents didn't sleep in the same bed. Granddaddy in his room. Where his room at? Upstairs. Oh my goodness.
And my grandparents had separate houses.
Wow.
So I'd see my grandmama over here.
They
had
was
to go
still
see
together.
my grandfather over here.
Then they still married, and that's all good, I guess. But for you to be in a loving, and you like the person, you want to be in the same bedroom, you want to. That's the 20 years we talking about getting you to,
right?
And that's
not the
why
other 20 years.
That's why I think millennials are our sweet spot because they've seen all of this.
Yeah.
They've seen the parents. They've seen the grandparents. They don't want
little
any
girl
of that.
came over and asked me where her room was.
I'm like, right there where his is.
I thought it was in there.
It's the same room. Yes.
Wow. And so let's talk about business for a second, right? Because you guys have been able to build a strong business together, and really get to a space of traveling, selling 100,000 books independently, some major media presence and things of that nature. But you did it with small social media following. Can you talk about that? Like, how do you build a business, right? Because everybody tells you gotta be on social media. You gotta be on social media. You gotta be on social media. But you did it the opposite way.
That's fine, but they focusing on the wrong thing. You got 50,000 followers. Okay, how much money you make?
And you already know there's several social media people with large followings that are broke,
100%.
that can't sell, any products or anything. There was a girl who went viral. There was a guy who went viral. He had like 2 million followers or whatever. They couldn't sell like 30 T-shirts, or anything like that. It's our relationships. You know, our book came out 9 years ago. TikTok wasn't even around. Snapchat wasn't around. YouTube wasn't as big as it was. Instagram wasn't even as big as it was, you know, when our book came out. But it was about, first of all, you got to have a valuable product. So we concentrated on the product to make sure the product was valuable. Because every time we were sitting up there tossing around, we was like, who's going to read this book? Nobody knows us. Nobody knows who we are. Who's going to read this book? And as soon as we released it,
I'm Rufus Triplett.
As soon as we released it, it went out. It shot up on the Amazon bestsellers list. It
Number
stayed
one.
on
I
the
was looking at this
bestsellers
job
list.
like, we in the top 10.
It stayed on the
Nobody
bestsellers
knows.
list. So we did it because we came up from the music business.
Yeah, but I'm about to say, but the relationships.
Yeah.
We go out to the people.
Yeah.
So you can have social media, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But again, how many people know you? How many people do you have relationships with?
Exactly. How many people are you impacting? Like, people may follow you, but how many people do you actually impact? I can show you my phone. I saved a post from you from July of 2021.
Wow.
Last year.
Wow.
And in mind, when I would see it or whatever, I would say, maybe one day we could work together. I
Ooh.
wasn't, you
Wow.
know, seeing what you were doing. I said, but maybe, and that's what I do. Like,
Ooh, I'm
people
glad
will-
you said that. I thought you was going to tell the man about himself.
Okay, stop it. Some people say that you try to manifest things,
Yeah.
but I look at it as, how can I provide value to this person?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't seek in relationships. Now I'm gonna have to do this because I just got a name drop because we on Inside the Vault.
Yes, what I
right?
was saying,
Okay,
yeah.
we on Inside the
You
Vault.
don't
have
Now
to,
we'd be here all day if
but
I
you
name,
do.
you know, if I name drop a whole bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
But anywho, so because we move around so much, we do a lot of counseling and different things like that. I wasn't really paying attention to like who our followers are. Like some people are just like really into their
Don't say
followers.
the B
like,
word.
ooh, but no, I ain't saying that
Oh,
word.
okay.
I said that the other day. I ain't gonna say that one. Okay, but we found out during COVID that, do you know that the guy that is responsible for some of Kanye's biggest hits follows us?
Wow.
Some of his
We must have
biggest
heard that
hits.
tune I was doing the other day.
Yeah, he liked the way you sound. He
Well,
liked
I'm
the way
just
you
saying,
sound.
you know, we got them people on the phone that be listening.
So now I'm going to tell you how you leverage your relationships.
Yeah.
When I found out who he was, because I wasn't even looking, but during COVID I had time, you know, to sit there and say, oh, these people follow us and everything. When you find out who somebody is, the thing isn't you DM them, say, hey, can you set me up a meeting
Oh,
with
my
Kanye?
goodness.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
my
is not
goodness.
how you leverage your
Well,
relationship.
and that's not how you communicate.
Yeah.
That's not how you grow a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, you know, if I would have said something, he would have been like, okay, circumventing around. But why am I asking him, because he's following us, why am I asking him to get to Kanye? Why
Yeah.
am I asking that?
Yeah.
Like, what can, you know, Kanye do? Who even know who we are?
Right.
How is
Yeah.
Kanye going to benefit from me?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So the way that you leverage relationships is you try to provide value to the person who's following you. He followed us for a reason,
Yeah.
right? He may have had a problem with his marriage. You know, who knows? Because he is married. You know, so
I ain't going to drop no names either, but it's a whole bunch of people out there having problems, and
Yeah.
we see them on TV.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we provided value in that way, and now we have like a follower for life. You know, and if ever comes a situation where maybe I possibly need to holler at Kanye,
Right.
you know,
Right.
maybe
Right.
hey, maybe a hook us up.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Did you say a
100%.
follower for life?
Yeah. for
He
life.
gonna see this and unfollow you quick.
Yeah. And so speaking of like, you know, name dropping and things of that nature, you guys have been on some, you know, major platforms, right? What would you say has been the platform that has been like the most beneficial?
Ebony
you know,
Magazine,
outlet?
couple of the year 2012. Did I say it fast?
You
Yeah.
did say it fast.
Yeah.
I was trying to get it out.
When we got honored as Ebony Magazine Couple of the Year, that
Ain't that the last issue too?
thing.
That was the last issue.
No.
Oh,
that
that
was
was
the last, but that was the first. No, we were the first and only couple. They don't even do couple of the year
Oh,
anymore.
couple of the year.
Like,
that was the
yeah, so
last
people were
couple
saying
of
we
years.
came in and shut it down.
Wow,
Right?
wow.
All right. So, yeah, when we got that honor in that platform, that opened like so many doors
Yeah.
because for everybody, us growing up, you know, Ebony and Jet was the coffee table. That
Yeah.
was on the coffee table. That's what we saw. That's what came. And then we never knew anybody that was in that magazine.
Yeah.
So when people saw us, I mean, my mother-in-law, his mom, she carried around. She worked for the school system at the time. She's retired, but she carried around in her purse. She would carry the issue around in her purse. Say, you see my son?
You know what I'm saying? Ebony Magazine was a staple for the black community,
Yeah.
as well as Jet. But I mean, that Ebony magazine, again, man, people opened that up and saw us in it, I guess.
Right, like it's just like
I wasn't even chasing after no fame. No.
Yeah.
And
They came after us. Yeah, they came after us because
yeah.
of our prison work. We were doing prison work in the prison system and trying to help black families especially to stay together and to nourish each other and help each other and give good information for black people to be able to get out of that situation in.
Right.
And we were getting, like the prisoners as well as their family would say, we hit y'all links or we go to the sites y'all say and the information is there. But they were getting wrong information. And people were just doing it they wasn't checking the information again. You know how you put information out and then they wasn't checking the information, just keep printing it.
And then you know how when you provide value to someone and they see your value and then you get that honor and acknowledgement, you know how that can steamroll. Like somebody sees this value and then somebody else sees it and somebody else sees it, and that's exactly what happened. It was like a domino effect.
Wow.
Like people actually know who we are. They know our name.
And when Ebony did that, again, they was looking at our community work. Right? I wasn't seeking anything. I was just trying to help black families, and I wasn't even trying to be on no type of platform doing it. It was just that was within our heart that we wanted to do as a couple.
And we're still shocked and amazed anything that we get. Anything when our book was
I don't be shocked no more.
Yeah, well, you don't get excited about.
I don't get excited.
Get excited about and even when Ebony called, I'm screaming like, It was like,
because I thought they had the wrong number.
Okay, but yeah, we just get excited about everything. When Essence Fest, called and sent us an email saying we're going to feature your book, and Essence was like, Essence Fest?
But I mean, the cool thing was because remember now, it's little old me. So the cool thing was when our book was right next to Kevin Hart's book.
He
had just came
Lovey.
out.
And we knew Lovey was like really big,
so
on the internet.
I knew my book was going to get seen.
We're walking in, it's like, oh my God, it's like, that's Kevin Hart. That's us.
And they would pick up Kevin Hart and they look at that and pick up mine. I couldn't have predicted that.
Exactly.
And so let's talk about that because I'm also an author. I've written 12 books. I haven't had one book that did 100,000 though. I've sold over 100,000 collectively. So we're gonna have to talk. You're gonna have to show me some stuff, right? Because I got collective 100,000, not but y'all got the one that did over 100,000. How has the book game changed, right? Like from when you guys have started and to where we are today.
Right. First of all, we ain't know nothing.
It was like the music industry. You know how the independent artists come out and they pop the trunk? They're trying to sell out the trunk? Hey, we was independent. We took the same scenario of the music industry and tried to because we didn't know the book game. And we tried to put that into the book game.
Exactly. So first of all, like I said, it was about concentrating on a valuable product. Okay.
And then Wahida
Clark.
Shout out to Wahida Clark.
That was a blessing too. She dropped some jewels.
Let me explain this a little bit because Wahida Clark would be like, well, what? How is marriage and Wahida Clark? First of all, Wahida Clark knows the book game.
100%.
So no matter what her genre of books are, you could still learn game, from someone, no matter what it is. So she taught us some game, and gave us free game. Free game.
Went all to the office and everything, sitting at the round table with it like I was somebody.
So we know the book game from a lot of tips that we learned from her and how to get out. And one of the biggest things is you have to get out to the people. When people started seeing us in places and different places, that's what brought like the curiosity, and attention.
And see, not everybody gonna see you. See, everybody want everybody to see them. You want to be on the same stage as the stars, the celebrities.
Or you want to post
you just
one
need
time.
a stage.
With social media, you want to post one time on social media and you're going to sell it.
Well, everybody done saw you now. Guess what? Everybody didn't see you then either.
Especially with these
they forget about them algorithms.
Because these algorithms ain't loyal. So when we started getting out to people, we had an organization that picked up our book and they wanted to showcase it in Vegas. We weren't in Vegas, but our book was in Vegas. And so people were tweeting us and said, oh, I just saw your book, da 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 da. And I said, well, where did you see our book?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I'm in Vegas at a convention and it's on, display, here at Vegas. I'm like, oh, like, great. So then I started going out. You have to know where to find your book, because a lot of people will publish a book and think Amazon is it. That's not just it.
Yeah.
Your book is in a lot of places. So
Yeah.
I would go out and I would find our book in so many places. I found a site, because we were just getting a check,
Yeah.
which was good. That's good when the check come in, right?
Not when you spending it.
That's good.
I was trying to save some money.
But I went out and I found a site that had 55,000 downloads of our book.
Wow.
Right, and do you know 55,000 people? We don't know 55,000
Right.
people.
I ain't know one of them.
We know 55,000 people. Those people may never follow you on social media.
Yeah.
Those people may never even leave a comment on Amazon
Yeah.
or anything, but they
That is a
downloaded the
whole
book.
new situation.
And that's what we appreciate, because they get the value from our book, but they don't even necessarily have to be personally in contact with us or follow us on social media.
And that's part of the Wahida Clark experience. Because she said if you got a good cover, that's going to be eye appealing, and then the subject matter is something that maybe somebody's going through or whatnot, they'll probably pick up your book.
Yeah, they're gonna
Not
find
even
it.
knowing.
Right,
Right.
white, black, brown, purple. That it doesn't even matter
Yeah.
who you are, because trust me, we had some Trump supporters support our book.
I ain't
Right.
gonna tell y'all that story.
Yeah.
Right, that was a wild story.
Wow.
I would have never thought. And the book saved her marriage. She went back to the dude she got the book from.
Wow.
And said, thanked him and all of that good stuff. He just let us know. He said he didn't really let her know.
Right, it was somebody that knew us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she turned the book over eventually, and she saw that it was a black couple.
Right.
Either way,
Yeah.
she was still thankful for the information.
Yeah, because the information is the information, right?
Exactly.
And so right now, somebody's watching who, is in a relationship, having some issues with their significant other. Specifically, what I'm noticing a lot is the disparity in ambition, if you will, right? So one person is ambitious and wants to get get their business on track, or whatever the case may be. This other person might not want to create a business. They might want to take the 9-to-5 route, but they don't see eye to eye as it relates to how they're gonna bring money into the relationship. What advice would you have for that couple?
You
Boy, it's
gotta
a
be
good thing we've been through some things. Huh?
Exactly. We can give this advice.
I got something for you.
You got to be a helpmate in whatever arena that person is trying to do. Because if not, what is the relationship
You
for? Are
have
you
to
in there
be.
to help and enhance?
Yeah.
Are you there to resent and be in competition with the person?
Yeah.
What are you there for?
If that's not your plight, again, that's your mate's plight.
Yeah.
Then be helpful.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a part of it, that's one thing. But to discourage it
Yeah.
or, just not be there for them,
Belittle it.
that's something else.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people look at that different, but it's no different than being a helpmate in any other situation that your mate may be going through.
Yeah.
So you got to be there regardless. If that's the relationship you in,
Right.
Yeah.
if you like them,
Yeah.
you love them,
Yeah.
if you care about them,
Help in the way that you can. Support in the way that you can.
Yeah.
if that be, because there's been situations where someone wanted to start a business and the person was making enough money for them to do that. So they supported the family, whether it's the male or the female, or whoever side it is. They supported the family while the person was trying to get that business off the ground.
Yeah.
Right? Stand in the background of it then.
Yeah.
But don't stand there.
Yeah.
Don't hate on someone for trying to be an entrepreneur.
So
for
the
sure.
biggest thing really is be on the same page.
Be on the same
Yeah.
page.
And if you need to come see us to talk about it,
Yeah.
In there, who?
No, 100%. And so, you guys have made a lot of money, have lost a lot of money. I don't know if you lost a lot of money. It just sounds
Yeah.
good, but
Oh, we lost,
yeah,
a lot of money.
all right.
I lost a lot of money at the mall.
Excuse me?
She went to a mall in Dubai. I said, wait a minute, hold up.
yeah.
Huh? She said, well, our money is twice their money. So
Three times their money.
I still want to go back with half my money,
Right.
trying to do all the money. Bruh, I had to bring back 2 suitcases
It was
just to get her
Dubai.
stuff.
It was Dubai.
What would you say is the most extravagant thing you guys have done with money so far?
I'm gonna tell the story.
I'm gonna say, I say cars.
Yeah, what's car?
And
But I'm gonna tell the story.
But I ain't with
about
all
the
of that
car.
no more. I don't believe in the material thing.
I'm gonna tell the story about that. But this
I'll take me a Toyota these days.
This isn't really like material, okay?
Okay.
He surprised me for our 27th anniversary. Yeah, it went viral. It went viral on social media with a Mercedes. And fully paid for.
Nice.
But let me tell you why I did it. Okay, since you're gonna mention it, I did it because there's a lot of guys on not only online, but I used to talk to, and they had money. They had millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But their wife, some of them didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And some of them had a hoopty.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand. You got what you gonna do with all this money?
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to treat her. If you have it, nothing's wrong with spending it.
Yeah.
On her.
Yeah.
That's why I did it. It wasn't really.
It was a nice gesture.
It was just show.
He had me all on social media with the ugly cry to Oprah.
And to give her, because she wanted to. She had a Ford Taurus, right?
Yeah.
So she went from Ford Taurus to a Mercedes.
Ooh,
but again,
it was a
to
coupe.
show her my appreciation for her and to let people know that, hey, man, if you got the money.
Sport coupe.
Nice. And so in that vein, what would you say is the most impactful things you guys have done with money?
That, see, I don't know if you want me to mention that.
What?
Prison World Magazine.
Yeah.
Because it helped so many people.
Our mass incarceration work.
And talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we printed a magazine for 10 years called Prison World Magazine, and it was for inmates and their families. And we're also Georgia certified prison volunteers, so we actually go into the prisons, and teach inmates and different things like that. So a lot of our philanthropy was for the prison system, but it wasn't just our magazine wasn't just for Georgia; it's across the country,
across the world. We was in other countries.
Some of the biggest prisons, across the country. If you heard of Alcatraz, we were there. You heard of Sing Sing, we were there. If you heard of any of
in the middle of Kansas,
or some of the biggest Louisiana prisons, we
but
were
they
there.
benefited the most from it because of the feedback we used to get from them. It kept, sometimes in prison you can lose your sanity, man, because you're in this environment, especially if you didn't do the crime. So you got to deal with a whole bunch of stuff.
And we did that for 10 years strong before we started our marriage work or anything like that. But that is another thing that we teach also that people don't understand. The prison market, like it is a huge market, and it benefits a lot. And we've sold a lot of books in the prison system.
And we've had inmates who contributed to the magazine, who actually got out and made something. One wrote books.
Drop a name.
I ain't
we name dropping.
See, I don't name drop.
I'm gonna drop it because I'm gonna shout him out because he shouts us out.
He's
the homie. He's the homie.
Yeah. If you guys have Shaka Singh Hor, he's one of our biggest success stories. Right in my wrongs.
And he used to write for the magazine, and he got out and did his thing.
Yeah, Oprah and everything or whatever. And he always shouts us out.
I don't know if it's because of us. That might have just been his persona. I don't like taking credit for what people do.
I'm not taking credit for that, but I'm saying he shouts us out. So I, have to say.
I'm just saying I don't like that. I think the brother might have been going to sell the book with or without me.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I appreciate about the prison work that you guys do is you also teach inmates about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Right? Why is that important?
Yes. Because parole and probation are the trick of the devil.
Ooh.
And that will end you back up in prison. So one of the biggest things to come out to do is to have something. And there's a lot of businesses that are going on in prison right now that people don't even understand. People got fashion from when Colorado legalized marijuana. We are getting all this stuff from inmates. They got their business cards and everything. And they're doing these legal dispensaries because people don't understand.
You might go to prison and get a contact.
Yeah, you don't have. We have gotten contacts and contact high. Woo. Okay, but you don't have to be associated personally with the business in order to be able to run it. You can have somebody on the outside, that's running your business, for you. And they would always try to pull us in or get us involved. We're getting stuff from states across the country, like this with my business, help me with this, whatever. People have no idea that is a whole different world, and it's full of money. I mean, it's full of money. It is a cash
Yeah, you just need a
cow
full team.
in the yeah, you need a team
And be
for
the
that,
head
for
coach.
real.
Yeah. No, 100%. No, I love it. I've enjoyed this, interview so much. We're gonna do what's called our lightning round, and in our lightning round, what we do is we take, bank terms and we flip them for us inside the vault, right? The first term we're gonna talk about is deposit slip, right? A deposit slip, when you go to the bank, you put the money, and you deposit money in the bank. For us inside the vault, deposit slip is a slip up, a money mistake that you guys may have made, right? So what is what would you say is your biggest deposit slip that you've made so far?
Oh my gosh.
I gave her the code to my account.
Stop it. Stop.
I should have kept it to myself.
Stop it. Hiring the wrong people can be a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Huge mistake. That's another reason why we left the music business, was because when you're making that type of money, people come from left, right, just trying to get in
And
where they can fit in.
if you made some money, you already know.
And different things like that. And they offer you so much. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that type of thing. So we lost some money, hiring the wrong people.
Wow.
That's a mistake.
Wow. All right. Term number 2 is charge off, right? You borrow money from the bank. You don't pay the bank back. The bank is going to try to do its best to try to get the money back. At some point, they're going to be like, we're going to charge this off, right? In your journey, what type of people or mindset did you have to charge off?
Family. Charge it to the gang.
Yeah.
Family. The people who don't believe in you.
Hey, June, that wasn't me singing that, man.
People who don't believe in you. People who, don't support you. People who just spit venom on your name. All that. Charge it to the gang. Let it go.
I mean, really, man, family, a lot of people, family support is a lot.
Yeah.
But, again, family support can be a lot.
Yeah. 100%. All right, last but not least, ATM, right? So ATM, you put your card in, in the ATM machine, and you get money back. You guys have dropped a lot of gems on us, but we want some more, right? And so ATM for us is another teachable moment, right? So look into this camera, give our insiders another Rufus and Jenny, bars, words of wisdom, but give us another teachable moment, something that they could take with them to enhance their life to the next level.
You want to go first? Because he's my ATM, so. So I guess I'll go first. Yeah, you ATM. You got ATM card written all over you.
Yeah.
Okay, you go to the bank, dear. All right. Market research. Please know your market.
Yeah.
Please know your market. If you do market research, it can open so many doors. You have so many avenues that you can go in. One thing we know is our demographic, and that's because we do our market research.
Yeah.
So when we're out there and we're relating to people, or we're looking at different events, or like our book tour that we just came off of, we know our market. So we know what markets to go into. We know what markets we need to work on. We know where to invest our money and our dollars to help bring our sales up. Know your market research.
Hey, and with the market, I'm gonna give y'all something real simple that you probably done heard before. Be you. Don't change because you think you might get something better. Be you, let it come to you.
Yeah.
Again, I ain't never changed. She tried to put me on some Stacey Adams one time. I said, no, I'm wearing my flip-flop. Do what I want to wear.
Yeah.
So, be you.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I can tell anybody, because I ain't never changed, man, and things happen, and all praises be to God, but I'm just saying, I just don't change.
Yeah.
I am who I am. Matter of fact, we was at a TV station the other day, and the lady said, you just I said, I try to be. I'm real. I try to be.
Yeah, 100%. All right, y'all. Rufus and Jenny Triplett. If people wanted to follow you, if people wanted to get advice, if people wanted to connect with you, where can they find you?
Our website, rufusandjennytriplett.com. Follow us across social media at Rufus and Jenny, just the way that our names are spelled. We are on Twitter, Facebook. We have 2 Facebook. One is verified, and then we have our fan page. And then we have Instagram. Of course, follow us on the gram, because we do it for the gram. Pinterest, and our YouTube channel. And we also got that tiki-taki, because, guess what? The millennials follow us, so we got that tiki-taki. So at Rufus and Jenny across social media.
And follow me at theman.com.
Excuse me?
The Man.
All right, y'all. Another awesome episode of Inside the Vault. We are closing out the vault. Make sure you visit us at InsideTheVaultShow.com. Subscribe, like, review, do all of the above to our podcast, our video, all of that. I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at IamAshCash. And we're going to see you next time, same place, in God's will. All right, y'all. Peace.